Welcome again to Quick Flicks. Friends, today we are going to break down a psychological drama movie in which a middle-aged man falls in love with a girl half his age. What are the disastrous consequences of this forbidden love? We will explore them in this movie. In a remote village along the coastal region of South Africa, a man is strolling by the beach. He notices three people swimming in the water. His eyes fall on one particular girl. While swimming, the girl notices him watching. She stares at him with an odd expression for a while before suddenly diving underwater. The man then walks away. The next morning, as the man is walking outside his house, he hears the sound of a girl cry. Following the sound, he reaches near a boat and sees a girl wrapped in a blanket, sobbing inside. When he calls out to her, she steps out. He realizes she is the same girl he had seen at the beach. The man, whose name is John, asks her, "Why is your eye red? Who hit you?" The girl named Jackie replies, "This is none of your business. Just leave me alone." But John insists, "Maybe I can help by putting some ice on your eye." Hearing this, Jackie gets irritated and snaps, "Don't you get it? I told you to leave me alone. Why are you following me?" John says, "I only wanted to help you." Jackie continues to cry uncontrollably, as if she has lost trust in everyone. Then she asks John, "What's that scar on your head? Did you have an accident?" John responds, "That's none of your business. Who were those people you were swimming with yesterday?" Jackie retorts, "Mind your own business." John asks again, "Who hit you?" Frustrated, Jackie yells, "Maybe you hit me. I've been telling you to leave. If you don't go now, I'll scream and tell everyone that you punched me and that I'm crying because of you." John says, "I was only trying to help. Maybe you need money. I can give you some." Jackie replies, "If you really want to help, get me a bottle of wine from the nearby store and give me $500. I'll stay right here. Otherwise, I'll scream and tell everyone you hit me and abused me." Out of fear, John goes to the wine shop and returns with a bottle. However, when he comes back to Jackie, she's no longer there. When he reaches his house, he finds Jackie's cap hanging outside. He looks around, but she is nowhere to be found. The next morning, John sees a girl's swimsuit and is reminded of his teenage daughter, who is no longer alive. Imagining Jackie as his own daughters, he feels immense joy. That evening, while sitting on the same beach, reminiscing about his family, he notices Jackie walking somewhere with her father and brother. John asks her, "Is your eye injury healed? Are you okay?" But Jackie, who already looks very scared, does not respond. John then says, "Your cap is still at my house. If you want, you can take it." Jackie's father, who notices her talking to a stranger, asks her, "Who is this man? How do you know him?" But Jackie seems too afraid of her father and does not want to answer him. That night, Jackie's father visits John's house and invites him over for dinner. John is a bit surprised, but then learns from Jackie that she told her father how John had tried to help her. Because of this, her father decided to invite him. During dinner, Jackie's father comes across as a strict and deeply religious man. He believes in leaving everything to God. At the dinner table, Jackie's younger brother is playing with his food, which angers their strict father. He starts yelling at him. Watching her father's anger, Jackie snaps, "Why do you always yell at us? Why do you always try to dominate your children?" She then turns to John and says, "Come with me. I need to get my cap from your house." She insists, "Come on, let's go." John is unsure of what to do, but he still leaves with Jackie. This is a remote area in South Africa, surrounded by dense forests with very few people around. Once outside, Jackie asks John for a cigarette. John says, "Does your dad know that you smoke?" Jackie, frustrated, replies, "To hell with my dad. Just give me a cigarette." It was clear that she was extremely frustrated with her father. John asks, "Your dad seemed really worried. Why do you act like this?" Jackie snaps, "What do you even know? You don't know anything about my family." John then says, "If you want, you can share with me what happened that made you so aggressive." Jackie now starts calming down a bit. It seems like she wants to share her pain with someone. She feels that John is the right person to confide in, and she finally decides to tell him her story. She says that a few months ago, some burglars broke into our house. Not only did they rob us, but they also tried to assault me. When they were trying to force themselves on me, my mom resisted. Because of her resistance, the burglars killed her. Since then, our family has been in deep distress. As Jackie tells her story, she becomes very emotional. Then she notices the wound on John's head and asks, "How did you get that injury? What happened to you?" John tells her that once he was driving with his wife and daughter, he fell asleep while driving, causing the car to fall into a ravine. His wife and daughter died instantly, and he himself was badly injured but somehow survived. John says, "I will never be able to forgive myself because it was my fault that my wife and daughter died." Hearing John's story, Jackie becomes even more emotional. The bond between them starts growing. They go to John's house because Jackie wants to collect her cap. She goes inside a room. When John finds her cap, he goes inside to give it to her. Inside, he sees Jackie lying on the bed, looking as if she has developed a strong attraction toward him. John says, "Here, I found your cap." Jackie looks at him and asks, "Do you have a girlfriend?" John replies, "No." Jackie then asks, "If you don't have a girlfriend, can I stay here with you?" John immediately responds, "No, absolutely not." Jackie is disheartened by his answer. John leaves the room, but as he turns around, He's shocked. Jackie has taken off all her clothes and is standing in front of him. She could no longer control her feelings for him. John is stunned and quickly grabs a blanket to cover her. Jackie, seeing this, becomes extremely disappointed and says, "You don't want to touch me because I was raped? Is that why you don't want to touch me?" Jackie starts crying uncontrollably. She says, "You know, that day when I was crying in the boat, it was because someone punched me. That person was my dad. My dad hit me. My dad is very abusive. He beats me over and over again." Hearing this, John feels deeply sorry for Jackie. He approaches her, hugs her, and tries to console her, but Jackie misunderstands and thinks that John has finally given in. She tries to kiss him again, but John stops her, tells her to put on her clothes, and insists that she go home. Jackie refuses at first, but when John insists, she has no choice but to leave. The next day, Jackie comes to John's house with her maid and apologizes for her behavior the previous night. After a while, the maid leaves. Jackie then says to John, "I am really ashamed of what I did yesterday. Please forgive me. I promise I will never do anything like that again." John forgives her. Jackie then says, "Let's go hiking. There's a really nice hiking site here." Both of them set off for hiking. Jackie was still troubled by the assault incident from her past, and John was grieving the loss of his family due to the accident. Both felt lonely inside, but in the peacefulness of this jungle, they found solace in each other. On the way, a village policeman approaches them and asks Jackie, "How do you know this man? Do you know him?" Jackie immediately replies, "Yes, I know him. He's a friend of my dad." The policeman relaxes a bit and says, "Take care." John and Jackie reach the hiking site. John was twice Jackie's age, which was evident from his hiking skills, but for the first time since his family's accident, he saw a new light in Jackie. He started enjoying spending time with her. He felt that after so many months, he had finally met someone who could understand his pain. Jackie, too, was trying to move on from the tragedy of her life, and now she was sharing her sorrows with John. Slowly, love started blooming between them. Sitting at the peak of the hiking spot, Jackie says to John, "The day after I was assaulted, my dad told me that if I hadn't been wearing a skirt, maybe those robbers would have just stolen things and left. I wouldn't have been assaulted, and my mom wouldn't have been shot." Jackie continues, "My father is very conservative and old-fashioned. He doesn't support Western culture at all, but I'm an open-minded and progressive girl. I want to move forward in life. I want to go to the city and do something for myself. Will you take me with you to the city?" Jackie gets very emotional while saying this. John tries to calm her down. Jackie starts getting romantic with John, but John says, "We should leave now." They both start heading back home. As they pass through the dense jungles of South Africa, they begin to feel even more drawn to each other, and they eventually become intimate. However, nearby in the lake, Jackie's father and brother were boating, and upon hearing their voices, John realized that his secret could be exposed at any moment. He quickly goes home and starts packing his bags. He knew that if not today, then tomorrow, the truth would come out. So he had to leave for the city as soon as possible. But then he sees Jackie's father standing outside his house. John thought the truth had already been revealed, but Jackie's father had only come to say, "Have dinner with us tonight, and then you can leave tomorrow morning." John relaxes after hearing this and happily agrees to the dinner. During dinner, John mentions that he will be leaving the next day. Upon hearing this, Jackie starts seducing him. Under the dinner table, she touches his foot with hers, trying to attract him toward her. She wanted John to stay, but John says, "Tomorrow, I will leave from Port Elizabeth to Durban." Jackie jokes, "What will you do in Durban? Are you going to get married again? Go online and find yourself a British wife." She teases John, "You already look so old and unattractive. Nobody will like you." Jackie tries to show her worth, but her behavior embarrasses her father, and he apologizes to John. But in reality, Jackie was deeply sad because she didn't want John to leave. Still, the night ends, and John departs. The next morning, Jackie arrives at John's house. She couldn't control herself anymore. She had already shown her affection at the dinner table, and now John wanted it too, knowing he was about to leave. They get romantic and intimate, but suddenly, it feels like someone is watching from outside. It was none other than Jackie's maid. She calls out Jackie's name. Jackie quickly goes downstairs, and John watches from above, realizing that the maid has indeed arrived. Her gaze was suspicious, as if she was thinking about what would happen to John if Jackie's father found out. Both John and Jackie get scared. John quickly packs his bags and prepares to leave for Durban. But just then, Jackie's father arrives at his house and says, "My son Simon is missing. I need help finding him. You can leave in a couple of days, but finding my son is more important right now." John agrees and sets out to search for Jackie's brother. Even after a long search, they can't find him. Jackie starts putting up missing posters and looks extremely distressed. The next day, a local police officer picks John up and says, "You and Jackie are close friends, right? I really like Jackie. Can you talk to her about marrying me?" John responds, "Look, her brother is missing right now. This isn't the time for such a conversation," and gets out of the police car. After searching extensively, they still don't find Jackie's brother. Everyone assumes that he might have run away because of the home environment and may never return. This deeply worries Jackie and her father. John tells Jackie's father, "I'm leaving tomorrow." He notices Jackie sitting with the police officer watching TV. The next morning, John goes swimming in the lake. After some time, Jackie joins him. She was still feeling heartbroken after her brother's disappearance. After swimming, John asks Jackie, "Why are you here? What do you want?" Jackie, crying, says, "I don't want to stay here. Take me with you to Durban. I want to be with you. I don't want to live with my father anymore." John is about to reply when the police officer arrives. Moments later, Jackie's father also reaches the spot. Seeing them together, his anger erupts. The police officer, who already wanted to marry Jackie, turns against John. John swims to the shore and tells Jackie's father, "We were just talking. It's not what you think." Jackie's father, furious, asks, "If someone did this to your daughter, what would you do?" John responds, "Nothing happened. I just need to grab my clothes." But the policeman pulls out a gun, and Jackie's father immediately picks up a stick and strikes John on the face. John gets seriously injured and starts running toward his house through the jungle. When he reaches home, he sees that his gate is open and a baboon is sitting in front of it. Just then, Jackie's father arrives as well. A brutal fight breaks out between him and John. Both of them are badly wounded as they hit and injure each other. Suddenly, the baboon attacks Jackie's father, causing deep wounds on his head and throat. John knew how violent these creatures could be, so he quickly grabs a stick and kills the baboon. At that moment, Jackie and the policeman arrive at the scene. Seeing all this, Jackie is terrified. She's also shocked to see John's injured state. The policeman lifts Jackie's wounded father and takes him outside. Jackie follows them, and John too goes along to help. Together, they place Jackie's father in the police van to take him to the hospital. Just then, the policeman points a gun at John's head and says, "If you stay here even for one more day, I'll personally shoot you. Leave quietly by tomorrow morning." Jackie watches all this unfold, but she's completely torn. She doesn't know what to do or whom to choose. On one hand, her injured father is ready to be taken to the hospital, while on the other, her lover John will leave for Durban forever the next morning. It was an incredibly tough situation for Jackie. She keeps looking at John for a long time. She wanted to leave with him, but abandoning her father in this condition was impossible for her. With tears in her eyes, she gets into the police van with her father. John, now mature enough to understand, also supports her decision because he knows it is the right choice for Jackie. Jackie and her father hug each other and cry, realizing how deep their bond and love truly are. The roles and restrictions imposed by society can ruin relationships. After all, what is life without freedom if a person is forced to live under restrictions? How is that any different from a bird trapped in a cage? Jackie's heart was still with John. She wanted to go with him. John felt the same, but life doesn't always offer easy choices. Life is like an endless exam. Solve one question and another appears. Solve the next and another challenge awaits. And with that, the movie comes to an end. If you like this explanation, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.